Ms. Solis, what is your response?
I am following up on a line of questioning that the defense counsel chose to pursue, and the witness answered as to why she declined to comment on something, and her state of mind in relation to this accused may be relevant, very relevant, to issues that your honors have to determine, and that is the credibility of the evidence before you. So it is the defense who went into this as to her declining to comment. She indicated in response, I did on the basis I said before. I'm simply following up with her what that is, and I believe that the prosecution is entitled to do that.
Please pause. Let me consult. The defense objection is overruled on the grounds that this is a matter that arose during cross-examination and is rightfully a matter for re-examination.
Thank you, Madam President. Ms. Campbell, let me again orient you. We were talking about your appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and defense counsel asking you that you declined to make comment about the ABC interview. In response to that, you told defense counsel that you did, that is, declined to make comment on the basis you said before. Please tell us why you declined to make comment.
As I said on Oprah when I was shown the footage, first of all, I was there to celebrate my 25 years. I was not really there to talk about the situation of ABC. And I felt that my family's life was in danger. And as I said before to you, I read that supposedly thousands of people had been killed, and I didn't want my mother or my family to be in any danger.
And Ms. Campbell, this concern that you had, is it correct that it was based on your belief, your later belief, that it was Charles Taylor who gave you these diamonds?
It's what I read.
And the concern about talking about it, is it correct that it was based on your later belief that Charles Taylor gave you these diamonds?
Yes, my concern was what I read that allegedly had taken place in the past. So I think it.
And why did that make you concerned?
Sorry, Ms. Hollis. Sorry. The witness's answer was not completely captured on the record, and I think it's my fault because I had the gavel on. But the witness said it's because of what I read. Read where?
Oh, sorry. Read in internet, read papers, heard from friends.
So, based on what you had read, that...
Obviously, after I was called, my lawyers were called up and I was asked to testify, and I said I didn't want to be involved. I read, you know, like anybody would.
And so after you had read, then that gave you concern about coming to this court and talking about the incident?
That's exactly why I didn't want to come here.
Now, the defense counsel also asked you about this lawsuit between you and Carol White, correct?
Correct.
And she filed a lawsuit and you filed a counterclaim, is that right?
Correct.
Now, in the lawsuit...
I'm not going to discuss it. I don't think it's correct to discuss it here.
I do have one question that perhaps you'll be able to answer, and it goes to the defense counsel's questions to you about the timing of statements by Mia Farrow and declarations. And I simply want to ask you this. I'm not interested in the merits of this. Okay? But what I want to ask you is this. In the lawsuit that was filed by Carol White,
and her brother.
And her brother. Was the name Mia Farrow mentioned in that lawsuit?
Actually, I really don't know. You'd have to speak to my lawyers about that. It's possible, but I don't. It's a huge pile of papers, over 60 or 70 stacks of pages. So for me to answer you to that, I wouldn't know. You'd have to ask my lawyers.
Fair enough. And in the
It's 9 GMT. You're watching Al Jazeera live
Did
from
you
our news
include
centers
the
in Doha
apparel
and Kuala
in
Lumpur.
that lawsuit at all?
And just to remind you that you're watching Naomi Campbell's live testimony to the Hague War Crimes Tribunal of Charles Taylor. And she was cross-examined by the defense a little bit earlier. She's being cross-examined by the prosecutors at this moment in time. Let's continue to listen in.
The diamond was from Charles Taylor, and you said that you had assumed that it was from Charles Taylor. You remember telling the defense counsel that?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Campbell, has anyone identified himself or herself as the person who gave you that diamond or those diamonds?
No, never.
Now, you were shown a photograph and you wrote some names on that photograph. Could I see the photograph that has been marked for identification, please? So, if the witness could be shown that, it could be put on the overhead, please. Just put that one on the overhead, the one that's marked. Put that on the overhead, please.
Look at this one.
And Ms. Campbell, we look at this photograph and Charles Taylor is standing between you and Nelson Mandela, correct?
Correct.
And do you remember when this photograph was taken?
Ooh, it's either before or after the dinner, but I can't recall because it's so long ago. I don't know.
So it was in connection with the dinner.
Yeah.
All right, that can be removed. And then if we could please look at the document that has been marked 12B. And Ms. Campbell, you remember that defense counsel read to you the statement that was obtained from Carol White.
Correct.
And you recall that he read to you the portion that indicated that when the diamonds were given to Mr. Ratcliffe, he was horrified. You remember him reading
Correct.
that part to you?
I remember.
And if we could look at tab 2, that's MFI 12B, please. And if we look at this, we see that at the last sentence of the first paragraph says it would have been improper and illegal to have done so. And the writer of this document is referring to receiving diamond or diamonds from you. And the writer indicates it would have been improper and illegal to have done so. Ms. Campbell, are you aware of any laws in South Africa in September of 1997 which would have made it illegal to possess unprocessed diamonds?
No, I was not aware.
Mr. Ratcliffe, you said that at the time you gave him these diamonds, he was in charge or managing this fund. Where did he live at that time?
I don't know. In South Africa.
In South Africa. Would Mr. Ratcliffe have been aware of any such laws?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
And if it were illegal to receive such diamonds, that could account for his being horrified, isn't that correct?
I don't recall him being horrified. Otherwise, I don't think he would have taken them at all.
When you asked Mr. Ratcliffe to accept these diamonds, did he indicate any concern to you about accepting them?